to The Burn. Gaming stuff, blazing fast.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Burn, a podcast about gaming done blazing fast. I am Aviv Manoach.
And I am Omer Kaplan. How are you? Happy first day, second day of the spring. Or something.
Screw spring. Spring is terrible. I wish it to die.
So are you a summer person? Winter person?
No, winter all the way. Although,
Okay.
let me tell you what have been happening over the past week in Israel. We are under a giant dust storm. We had like a heat wave, and then everything was covered in dust, and then there were rain clouds, so the clouds rained mud all over the place. And now there is a mixture of dust and mud and grossness in the air. One of the advantages of wearing a mask outside is that you don't need to breathe dust, not only COVID.
Well, yeah. So maybe now compliance rate will go up. But
Maybe.
yeah, I mean, I remember the dust storms. It's insane. You can't really breathe anything.
Yes.
Not dust or air you just hide in your apartment and hope for the best.
So yesterday
And play
morning,
games.
I get up, I go to my car because I'm driving to a workout, and it's covered in mud because it was raining at night, and I realized that I don't have any wiper fluid in the system. And my windshield is completely opaque. I can't see through it. So I turn on the wipers, and they like scrape away the dust from the window.
Oh no!
And it was fine. It was fine. I managed to get where I need to go.
So you just like looked at the small crack through the mud and like managed.
No, it wasn't
like,
that bad. But it was funny because the wipers didn't really like. They actually removed the sand from the window instead of like having water clean it. So they physically removed the sand.
I feel you. Like we have it in the winter when it gets cold, so all the windshields get like a thick layer of like ice over it. So sometimes you get lucky and the windshield starts like to scrape the ice a little bit, but if not, you just have to like sit in your car and just wait forever until it defrosts, or you have this device you buy that like scrapes it. But so I feel you. Sometimes you have to kind of like manage it to just like this little peephole inside your car and hope you have to drive really slow until it defrosts. So it's a thing.
Yeah, well, that's a bigger issue than having mud in your windshield that can be cleaned with water if you remember to actually fill the fluid in your car.
Yes. Are you the one that like feels like fancy stuff in it, or
No. I use tap water with like window cleaner.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So no fancy stuff.
Yeah, no fancy
All
stuff.
right.
Okay, so
video
games,
games.
and this podcast. So in The Burn, we talk about games we played and liked or disliked. And sometimes, usually we talk about news, but today we didn't bring any news. We brought another game to talk about, so we'll talk about two games. And if you want to listen to past episode, you can do it in the website theburn.live. You will find all episodes as well as subscription links to your favorite podcasting apps, or whatever you might use. This is actually episode 20. Did you know that? We are in the 20th episode. Nice. We have survived another decade.
Nice. You're keeping the cadence going. That's good.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, let's talk about games. You have been playing Loop Hero, which I haven't. I did see it a bit on Twitch, and I was like, okay, this is weird. I don't know what is going on. It's also kind of ugly. So sell me on it.
All your feelings are exactly what I had when I was looking at the game. So I was looking for, some really casual games. I was just, I'm playing League really regularly, and I had some Jedi Fallen Order I started playing, and I felt the need for some really casual games, and obviously I have like a billion games in my Steam library and they don't worth anything because I needed something new. So I kind of stumbled upon Loop Hero. I didn't know it was a new game, but it is. It's the new published game from Devolver. I didn't know that either. And I was looking at it, and everything in this game felt. First of all, the reviews are overwhelmingly positive, but then like everything about this game was like ugly. So the graphics are not appealing. It looks really weird. Like you have some cards, but then you have equipment, and you have like you don't really know what's going on. So I was like, okay, it was like on sale for like $70. I was like, okay, I'm gonna bet on this game that people like it. We'll see what's going on. And then it's one of those games where nothing about like the surface level, the graphics. I mean, thematically it makes sense, but it's not really appealing. But the gameplay loop, pun half intended, the gaming loop is so good that it just keeps you engaged and it's incredibly fun. So here's what it is.
Like it's not really a pun because the game is about a loop, right?
Yes, but not really. So kind of, sorta. So here's the thing. So you start. I mean, the overall plot of the game. So there's some story behind it. Is that stars are starting to disappear from the sky, and people starting to forget stuff, like everything about the world, like just as things just fade away. Nobody knows why, and that's it, pretty much. So, and you're called the hero. You're just a person. And then you just started walking down a procedurally generated path called the loop. So it's like different every time.
Mm-hmm.
And then so it's just like at first it's just like kind of like a cobblestone road. Your dude is like, or like a person, because we're not sure what it is. It's good. Your hero starts walking, and then all of a sudden some monsters pop in, and then this part of the game, just the walking and the fighting, is all done automatically. So you can pause at any time, but it's literally automatic. So if you don't touch anything, you just go and fight monsters, and they spawn randomly. And then when you kill monsters, you can get a couple of things. You get cards, and those cards you can place them on anywhere in the map except like the loop itself. Or some cards you can place on the road, some cards you can place on the side of the road, and some cards you can place anywhere in the map. So for example, you have, I don't know, cemetery. So if you get the cemetery card, you put it on the road, and then instead of spawning the basic monster, it spawns a skeleton every so and so seconds. So it has like a day-night cycle, but it's mostly represented by like a bar that when it ends, you just spawn more monsters. So there's not really a day-night cycle.
It's a cycle. There is a cycle.
It's more like
some would say there is a loop.
Exactly. So you have your, I don't know, spider den. You put the spider den next to the road, and then it spawns spiders, and then some monsters can like hang out together. Then you fight groups of monsters. You have, I don't know, you have mountain cards, and then if you place a mountain card not on the road, you just place it anywhere on the map, you get, I don't know, 2 more HP for your characters, and then you get some bonus if they have like another mountains next. So you get cards.
Are the cards only for like world building and stuff, or are they part of the combat as well?
And so usually they're just like for world building and spawning monsters. Some cards, there's this card, I forgot the name, something Grove. You put it next to, so you have a woods card that you put on the road and it spawns wolves.
Mm-hmm.
But if you put the Grove cards next to it, it does an effect on the woods that every monster that have less than 50% HP is instantly executed. So that's good for you. You have like lanterns that reduce the amount of monsters that can be on a tile, so you don't fight like huge group of monsters, you fight like less of them and they stack. So you pretty much build your own like run with the cards.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then so you can get cards for monsters, but you can also get equipment. So, and equipment determines your play style or like inside the run. So you get, I don't know, so there's you get shields that give you more defense, but they can also give you the ability to evade. You got swords, but you can also get, I don't know, axes that give you kind of like lifesteal. So you determine like your build as you go. So you can say, hey, I want to build attack speed. I want to build like towards this. I want to have a hybrid. I want to test different things. So during the loop, you can put equipment on your character that fits what you want to play, and you can change equipment like at any time in mid battle, during, like it's really like freeform. You just do it like whenever you want, or you can pause the game and do it. And the equipment improve as you go, or as you fight groups of like bigger monsters or like more monsters, you get more. So you get your cards, you get your equipment, and then as you go through the loop, every time you finish a loop, you end up at a campsite. You get that the monsters are stronger and your equipment kind of like levels up. So there's that. You also get resources, and resources are for when you decide either you die and then you keep some of the resources, or you feel like, okay, well, I had enough, I'm getting out of the loop. You go to like a campsite, and that's your kind of like rogue-like thing where you build structures and gain access to like better gear, or you get more cards to add to your deck. So you can build. So now you can build your deck and get some cards out, some cards in based on what you want to do. So you have that aspect. And the last thing that's kind of like tacked into the gameplay is as you go through the loops and getting stronger and build more structures and everything, you unlock more classes. So you have the warrior, but you can also unlock a rogue and a necromancer. And I think there's one more I didn't open yet.
Ooh, necromancer! I like that.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool. It's like a really weak hero, like really low HP. But what it does is they summon skeletons every couple seconds, and then the power-ups, so you can bring like more skeletons or stronger skeletons, or have the skeletons attack faster. So they're like your meat shields, or like improve the quality of the skeleton. So now you summon a knight skeleton or the mage skeleton. So that's really nice. And as you go through those loops, you kind of like level up your character, and then you get traits. So I don't know. Every time you go through a loop, your skeletons are 10% stronger, or you start every day-night cycle, you start with like 2 empowered attacks or something. So it's like really small stuff that
what's an empowered attack?
Like more damage, or like ability to stun an enemy, whatever. So basically, when you take all the components together, so the loop itself and the cards and the equipment and the resources and the roguelike thing when you build your campsite and get stronger, it's almost like the graphic doesn't really, at some point you kind of like phase out of the graphic, and the gameplay is really, 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 really good, that you can just sit there and like, do some of the runs, you get, your resources, and then the thing that gets you through the story, so the story has chapters, the thing that gets you to the story is that every some number of loops, you feel like this boss bar, and then at some point there's a boss that spawns on the map, and then you fight the boss. If you kill the boss, you get like a lot of resources and stuff, and then you can choose, okay, well, I can get to the next chapter, or I can like do infinite amount of like the current loop and then get out. So you decide like the pace in which you progress. Super cool game. Like gameplay wise, you can just sit there, and I'm like, I think 15 hours in, and I haven't like developed my camp as much as I want to do. I have more cards I can unlock, and I'm just, I think the highest loop I got to was, I think 20 or something, which is kind of high, because like the boss spawns at around like 11 or 12, and then you can just keep going, like have more loops and get more loot. It's cool. It's really cool. There's more gameplay mechanics that I described. There's like a crafting element, and there's like all of some small stuff. But I don't know. It
still looks cool. Like Warcraft 1.
But it doesn't really matter. I mean, it does matter, right? I mean, if we would have given me like a better polished version of this game, would it have been better? Maybe.
Yes.
But
yes, it would.
Maybe. Probably.
Have it the same art style as Darkest Dungeon. That would have been
I could see that.
A difference.
I could see it. It really looks like an NES game almost.
No, so, seriously, it looks like Warcraft 1, like with the sidebar that is split into like squares and everything. It looks like Warcraft 1.
So I mean, I don't know. I think it's adds a little bit to charm to the game. It's definitely not the biggest selling point. I think everything on the surface level is really, like you said, super. I think basic as as a compliment. Let's call it basic. But I think the gameplay itself and the core like loop of the game is really, really, really good. Super enjoyable. It's very relaxing. Like I play League and it's like high intensity, like general rush, super complicated. And then you get to this game, it's like everything's relaxed. I can do it in my own pace. I don't have to go like super hardcore. I can do a couple of like resource runs and then build stuff and then play the different classes. It's fun. I really enjoy it. Yeah, pretty awesome concept. And I really like how developers get to find those like game developers that drive really like innovative and like different concepts, and just those the game that they publish. I didn't know it was a developer venture, but now that I know, it totally makes sense. And yeah, I mean,
Cool. Amazing.
super cool game. I enjoyed it a lot. Gonna take a drink now.
Okay. It sounds very interesting. I don't know if I would go and buy it on my own accord, but maybe someday if I stumble onto it, I will try it. Maybe.
I mean, listen. It's now on GOG. It's $15. So if you at any time at a point where you say, I need a deck builder type of game that also have like more interesting mechanics and it's really satisfying.
I want to tell you that I have two other deck builder games that I received press copies for and I haven't played yet.
Okay. Well, I would say like for $15, I would give that a try. If I don't know, it's pretty good. You could get a couple of hours like good fun out of it.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. It's just I don't know. I wouldn't be drawn to that game by myself, but since pretty much everyone on Twitch played it, I would maybe watch a couple of hours of it, and then maybe I will like it or something.
Yeah, I think there's much more. So I mean, there's like guides and like strategy things, and I think this thing is like much more like deep and complicated than the way I played. I played like super casually, but I think if I think there's more depth there than I think. But I mean, all in all, like that's my go-to pastime, low-key gaming kind of thing where I don't want to hold the controller and just have some dude fight for me and just get through the story. It's really nice.
I like the fact that you can play it casually as well as have more depth into it.
Yeah, I think like it's super deep in the way. I mean, you can have like high risk builds where you build for like there's a card that says like everybody on the map have like lower HP the more cards of this thing you have. So maybe you build something with like high regen, but everybody else have low HP, so you kind of like outstand them, and have the way you place the cards one next to each other makes some difference. And I mean, there's like stuff that's called golden cards that I haven't unlocked yet, but I think those are like major bonuses that impact the game. I don't know, pretty deep. For $15 sounds like an interesting experience.
Yep.
Yeah, so
sounds like it.
It's nice, super nice.
Great.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
Excellent.
Tell me about your thing.
Yes, my thing. So we are doing a throwback section. It's not Thursday, but it's still. I've been playing Terraria. Speaking of games that I've been watching on YouTube and then got back to playing myself. So if you're listening to this podcast and you are not familiar with the game that is Terraria, Terraria came out in 2011. It's a 10-year-old game, and you are now thinking to yourself, Aviv doesn't like old games. He doesn't like going back to old games. He doesn't like games that don't look very good and stuff like that. So what is he doing playing Terraria? You're thinking all of that to yourself, right, Omer?
Yes. And also, I'm like, okay, so maybe I'm oversimplifying, but isn't that like more action in Minecraft? Or did I get it wrong?
It's not more actiony in Minecraft. It's I would say more RPG Minecraft with a longer. I wouldn't call it a story because there isn't a story, but a longer, whatever you call it, game content period.
Yeah,
Since
listen, this game has been on my wish list since I don't know years and years, and every time it's on sale, I was like, maybe I'm getting it, but like, I'm not. I'm really not a fan of crafting games, but so is it really for me? So I'm really excited to hear about your experience because you have like a good, you
yeah.
know.
So, Terraria alongside Minecraft were like the original survival games before the whole new wave of one that we have now. They came out about the same time, 2011. Terraria it actually came out first, but most of YouTube at the time played Minecraft, and it was like the popular game and the kids game, and then Terraria was the like more serious game. It looks cartoony, but there is Cthulhu in it. And it has like hardcore mode and difficulties and bosses and stuff. And it also don't look like crap, which is a big plus.
I agree.
It's side scroller, pixel art, but pixel art that looks good even to this day. I think, in my opinion. And it's a survival game. You start in a procedural world. You don't know anything. You have yourself and a guide. A guide is a person, and the guide, you can give it any item in the game, and it will tell you how to make it or what you can use it for. So the whole purpose of the game is to mine deep into the ground, get new items. Find how to summon bosses, kill those bosses, and keep progressing. Progression, that's what I was looking for. That's the word, Omer. And this game has a lot of progression. Basically, when you think you killed the final boss, the wall of flesh in hell, it's only the final. It's only the end of the first third of the game. When you kill the wall of flesh, you enter hard mode. Hard mode changes the entire world into a harder version of it, and there are more biomes and more bosses and more items and more everything. So one would say that the game only actually begins after you enter hard mode, which I never did. But that's like an overview of what Terraria is. The interesting thing to note, beside the fact that this game is 10 years old, is that for 10 years it has received free updates. It doesn't have DLCs, it doesn't have micropayments, it doesn't have anything. Just free content. Decade of free content updates. Now, the developers time and time again decided, yes, this is the last update, we're moving on to something else. Yes, we are building a new Terraria Overworld or Otherworld or whatever. Yes, we are splitting up and going to create Starbound. And every time the developers returned and created more content for Terraria, which is on the one hand very cool, and on the other hand, they didn't make any new games besides Starbound. Which is, again, a spin-off Splinter thingy that's not made by the actual... Well, it is made by the original devs, but not the game company. So basically, Relogic, the company that made Terraria, were 4 people, and 2 of them left and made Starbound. That's the story.
Gotcha. Okay, so I have a question for you.
Yes.
How crafting heavy Terraria is, because like, am I let me ask you this: am I going through the world and like harvesting trees all day in order to make wood planks, in order to make walls, in order to make how much time of my day am I going to invest in crafting, or can I is it like just another mechanic of the game? I can just do the interesting stuff in combat and bosses.
You don't really need a lot of wood, but to answer your question, the game is entirely crafting. You will
Okay,
dig
so I'm not
deep,
getting
deep,
it
deep,
at all.
deep down. You will look for new ores and new materials. You will build the newest armor and the newest weapons in order to defeat the newest bosses. And that's the entire game loop.
Okay, so not attractive to me. I think.
In between doing those, you will also explore and find caverns, and there is a dungeon, and you find loot in boxes, and you will find floating islands, and once you enter hard mode, you will find the hollow where unicorns trying to kill you. You will build artificial biomes for your needs. You will build fighting arenas in order to control boss movements. You will build areas where you want to farm with specific items that increase spawn rate. A bunch of those things. You will also try to prevent the evil biomes from spreading and destroying your worlds. A lot to do. There is.
I mean,
yes.
listen, it sounds good. It looks great. I mean, this thing looks great and super interesting. It looks like action packed and like a lot of harvesting, a lot of crafting. I'm sure it's gonna be great for a lot of people. I'm probably gonna pass, but it looks like fun. I usually don't get the crafting itch that needs scratching, but if I did,
I feel like while crafting is a central and strong element in Terraria, I feel like unlike other similar games, is not the aim of the game, but a tool for progress. Like, I know that now I want to go and fight the Eater of Worlds. I don't have the best armor I can get. Okay, let's go find more gold. I need gold in order to make the armor. So I will go, and for hours I will mine, and I will stumble on a spider cave, and I will find little abandoned houses, and I will find new loot. And somewhere along the way, I will also find the gold I need and make the armor. And then maybe I go fight the boss. But that's like, I feel like the crafting is more the facilitator for the progression in the game and not the goal for progression. You will always have like mini goals, like I need a new weapon, I need a new armor, I need a specific item that drops somewhere. I want to go farm it. It's a lot more MMO-y, I would say, in progression, despite the fact that you are playing solo. Although you don't have to play solo, there is multiplayer in Terraria. So that's how I feel about the game. One of the nice things is that when you create a world, you can decide what size it will be. So I started playing with a small world in classic difficulty, and in a small world you can reach pretty far to the end of the world and deep down into the underworld. So it doesn't take like dozens of hours to just explore. You can cover the world pretty quickly. So that's what I'm doing, with the aim of maybe I will actually finish the game this time, since I'm working on a small world.
Well, it's a small world after all.
Yes, exactly. So and just to tie it all up, the reason I got back to Terraria to begin with is because a year ago in May 2020. The 9-year anniversary to the game, they released a new patch called Journey's End, which is supposed to be the final patch of the game. But again, they keep coming back to it, so who knows? And a lot of YouTube, Twitch streamers and YouTubers played it, and I recently watched some of Ko's playthrough of it, and I said that I decided to go back to it myself. This patch added a lot of interaction with the NPCs in the game. There is like a whole friendship and happiness system. that you want to build houses for the NPCs to live together in specific biomes in order to increase their happiness and stuff. So yeah, a lot of good content. A lot of good
Cool.
content.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Well, I'm actually looking at this game in GOG, and then one of the recommendations it gives me under the game was Stardew Valley. And I was like, oh my god, I need to get back to Stardew Valley. Such a nice game.
Yeah, I actually watched Terraria after I watched a full playthrough of Play Stardew Valley patch 1.5. And it didn't really got me the itch to into it. But
no, because I know if I actually get to Stardew Valley, it's like it's basically spending 100 hours to do it. So it's like such a big game.
Yeah, Terraria is about the same. Yeah. But Omer, if you have Terraria on Stadia, what prevents you from trying it? What?
Just the cost, and I'm not attracted to that type of game. So
it's free. It's on Stadia.
Yeah, but is it free? I don't think it's free.
You don't get like a subscription with Stadia?
No, I don't get that because I just have the games I play, so I don't like jump between games. I get a game, I play all the way through, and then I get the next game, play all the way through.
So
the only reason I get a subscription is that there's like a really good game there that I want to finish. I did it with Hitman and Sniper Elite 4, but I finished them, so I don't know.
I got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah,
so that's all for today. That's all we have for the show. Thank you for listening, and as always, thank you for joining me, Omer.
Thank you for hosting.
Of course. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, comment, and leave your reviews on your preferred listening app. You can find all of those at theburn.live. And of course, our opening theme was created by Ann Dorco with vocals by Fishy Twitch. They are on Twitter, and I forgot to say the line about finding us on Twitter. I'm at Icel, and Omer is at Omer Kaplan. Come and say hello. That's it for today. We'll see you in the next one.
All right.
Bye.
See you soon.